Hey guys, Beau here at KG5 Media. I'm here with Director of Cricket, Simon Stebbings. Simon, thanks for being here.
No worries, Beau.
And we've got Captain Coach Brett Geeves. Brett, thanks for being here.
Thanks, mate.
So this is essentially a preview to the Kookaburra Cup Grand Final, which is happening on Sunday the 13th of February against South Hobart, Sandy Bay at 10:30. Glenorchy won 9 limited overs cups. Brett playing in 3, I believe.
Yeah, 3. 2 win, 1 loss. Yeah.
And obviously South Hobart, Sandy Bay winning the 2018-19. First off, Brett, I'll start off with you. How have you seen the team this year compared to last year? You missed out on finals narrowly last year. What's changed?
Yeah, it's a hard question because when I look back on the expectation of the team last year, we felt like we had a list capable of making the finals. Some really skilled cricketers, quite a lot of experience. Some state junior representation, some second 11, a lot of first grade experience. So compare that to this year. And even though I've come back at age 39, fat, blind and old, that to me kind of represents where we thought we were actually at the start of the season, that I kind of put my hand up to help on field. Coming through the pre-season, it was challenging. We lost a lot of guys at the back end of last year, retirement, life circumstances. So we had a blank canvas. We thought, we're going to have a very young team, and those young players, we didn't feel it was fair that we had a young leader working with a young group of people when I was going to be sitting on the sidelines as a coach. So, I guess, the differences are huge, certainly from September onwards, and we got quite fortunate with the addition of Tushair Garg and Joshy Hartill. Tushair's fit with our values as a club and our values as people. He's been a real leader and a driver of that. Bankstown kid, runs a not-for-profit that tutors young boys and girls from low socioeconomic regions. I mean, gets you right in the cockles, So, Tush has been an unbelievable leader, and Josh is a great fit. His old man played at the club, at the footy club. His family lives up in Baghdad. So, if you could recruit 2 guys to this club in the situation we're in, they were the 2 guys Australia-wide that you wanted to bring in. So from that, we bring in a couple of experienced guys. They're young, but they're cricket experienced, and they've really gelled well with our young group, and then myself as a leader as well. So it's been a ride, because even with those 2 recruits, we still didn't think that we were in that upper echelon of teams. And I think it's testament to the leadership of those 2 guys and the willingness of those young players to listen to the 3 of us, Tush, Josh and myself, from a leadership standpoint, and they've just absorbed as much as they can, and we're seeing them now go out on the ground and execute everything that we've tried to feed through to them.
So you talked in the paper this week about the Underdogs. I just mentioned some key players. So you've got Matt Clark, Amon Vines, Sean Willis and Alex Doolan. I'm guessing you guys aren't feared of those. Obviously Alex Doolan having a pretty successful career, as well as Sean Willis, and those 2 other guys are on the rise. What are your thoughts on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, you throw in Tom Andrews, Cameron Valente, there's a Gabe Bell. There's a wealth of first-class experience in that, and credit to South Hobart. Every year they recruit very well. They bring in these high-caliber players, and they're constantly competitive. So we look at that team, and there aren't many holes, from a true cricket list. But really importantly, every week we've been coming across similar teams. This week Doran Hope and Parami Powell, and there's a player in there that I'm missing. No, it's gone. But each week there's 3 or 4 really high caliber players. This team's no different. They've got 4 or 5 unbelievably well-credentialed first-class players, and then they've got some nice local kids as well that have kind of been true to the club, and they've built around that nicely. So for us, the method is the same. You know, it's you know, playing with freedom, trying to play as smart as we can, sticking to our strengths and weaknesses, and like we've been speaking about all year, if you can end a cricket match and you've given everything and you've played your strengths and weaknesses and you've lost, then you can cop that. Like it's actually okay to lose games of cricket or to be dismissed, as long as you've tried to control, you know, to the utmost of your ability, your strengths and weaknesses. So that's been our message the entire year.
So obviously I've just spoken about the key players. I'll just mention a few standout players for South Hobart and then we'll go to the Glenorchy. So Amon Vines, 568, averaging 63. So I think his wicket this weekend's going to be really big for our guys to get. Sean Willis, the captain, he's been outstanding, 512, averaging 39. And Tom Andrews, who's been outstanding, averaging 38. But I think one thing that our guys have been really good at is topping those guys. So Nav, 677. Tush 478 and Jake 334. We'll go to the semi-final stats now because I've got to read those out as well. So Tom Willoughby 70 and Tom Andrews 48. I don't think they probably had their best game, but I do think that obviously their star power, as you've talked about, was quite good. Cameron Valente 3 for 32, Ume Butt 2 for 36, Cadence Klepper 2 for 52 and Tom Andrews 3 for 29. And then Tush 69, Nav 73 in the batting department, which both of those guys got more than those players. So I think if one of those guys can get firing, if not both of our guys, I think it'll be a really good game. Tush 1 for 52 and Deepak 2 for 44. It really came out of the dark. He joined halfway through the season. How have you seen him?
Yeah, Sam Harbinson was the other player I was trying to think of for uni. Zach Fair as well, very talented young player. And Louis Smith on the rise. Deepak's been a godsend. He's been unbelievable. He's been a player that, particularly from a bowling perspective, when it hasn't gone well for us up front, both with the white and red ball, we know that we can plug Deepak in, left armour, gets good shape. He's not quick, but he hits a really consistent line of length, and he's been able to shift the momentum back when things haven't quite gone as well as we would like with Tushair and Trent Rosignol up front. So, he's been excellent in that role, and then his batting too. We've been using him as a bit of a weapon up the order when required, and that's a role that he's learning. We sent him out against Kingborough to try and break it open. I think he was 7 off 30 balls, and fortunately the drinks break came and I ran out in my pads, just said, hey, you know what you're out here for. He's been terrific, and to me the big improver and potentially part of the reason, particularly in the last sort of that lead into the Christmas break, and as we've come out of that, Tushair Garg's emergence as a batter has been just so important for us. We haven't had Nick Davis in the team for quite a stint, out with an injury. Wiki Manpreet Marla took off early in the year, so two of our top four that we had pegged in at the start of the year are out, and then we had that stint without Josh Hartill as well. So then you've got three of your top four completely missing for a large chunk of the season. For Tushair to put his hand up to open the stick is brave in itself, because he could have easily failed, and he's an aspirational young fella trying to make his way, so he wants to make every post a winner. It could have been easy for him to bat at 7 and get some cheap not outs, but he's a team guy. He's always thinking about what's best for everyone else. Those last two run chases, our last two batting innings, minus the 100 all out, he's been the star. He was the backbone in the run chase in the semi. Played his role perfectly. 60. Well, I think what did he end up scoring? 69 off 80 odd balls. Set the platform for Nav to come out and do what Nav does well. And then in the run chase against Clarence of the red ball, 100 not out, 4 to win with maybe a little bit of time, and he's just blazed this huge 6. It's a fairy tale ending. That stuff just doesn't happen in cricket, and he works hard. He's a ripping fella, and it's great for him that he's been an integral part of, through his batting development, in us having some success over the last little period.
I think what's been really commendable is how much runs we've put on. So we're averaging 226 in the past 3 games, which I think, as you said, without Josh and Tush, I don't know if that was back then, the runs, but I think we've really been putting on some runs, which is really handy in South Hobart, 222. I'll move over to Simon. Simon, how have you seen the preview and the game?
Yeah, I guess just wanted to highlight probably a few other players that might step up. So we're pretty confident that behind those ones we've mentioned who have been getting the runs, we've sort of got Jake Williams, who probably hasn't fired yet. He's been steady, had a couple of good games. So if Jake, he's clearly got the talent. If he can step up, and then I think on the other side, you mentioned Beau. Interesting story around Umair Butt changing over from Glenorchy, so that'll be an interesting one to see who wins that battle. He's been an important bowler for them this year, so if we can get on top of Gabe Bell and Butsy, Valent, 3 quality at the top, then I think that sets us up well. And then I think looking down through our list, as you say, Jake, and I think the other one's Josh Hartill. So he's a guy who's had a couple of solid starts in recent games, and hopefully Jake and Josh can step up and really put on a score for us.
I think also with our bowling, we've got Giles. He's been really good. So
the wizard. Yeah,
Giles is one-day cricket in the last. I'm not even sure how long Giles has been at the club. It seems forever now, but from the moment Giles stepped in the door, he's been potentially our best white ball player. He's so consistent. He's very crafty with his fields and his control, and he's been really, really important for us. So plays a huge part in what we try and do as a bowling group, and it's a hard one for him as well because he's still learning so much about red ball cricket. He has such a strength, and I think it's a lesson for any young spinner that coming into red ball cricket you can still perform your role. Without having to be, whether you're a wrist spinner trying to be Shane Warne, or if you're an off spinner trying to be Nathan Lyon, big spin and bounce and flight, it's okay to start, just by collecting maidens and dots. So, Giles is still learning his craft there, but as a one-day player, as I said, he's almost been our first pick for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, and probably the only other one didn't mention the skipper here himself. So. Big game player, Brett. I know you're not too. You won't pump your own story, but I think having Brett as that solid bowler where we need him, he'll step up and bowl wherever the pressure's on, and then on the batting side as well, having that experience in the middle to the tail is really important. So I think balance is a big thing about our team at the moment. We've got good balance top to bottom, batting, bowling, and. Yeah, no doubt the guys will give it a good crack on Sunday. Yeah,
I think importantly too, and potentially as a closer, we haven't relied on just Navroj, to win us game. Navi's obviously come off in 2 or 3 games, and that's been terrific. But Tush has stepped up. Josh has won us, some games earlier in the season. We from a batting perspective, Timmy Spotswood's batted quite well. Deepak's played some important innings. And then as a bowling group, again, we're not relying on Tushier to come in and break it open. It's Deepak's played a supporting role. Trent's been outstanding at times. Giles does his thing. Tim Spotswood's has bowled some really key overs as well. So I'll probably miss someone in there as well. We do seem to have a lot of bowlers, a lot of bowling options. But I think importantly for us, it has been quite a good spread of performances. It hasn't been the top 4 guys, and a heavy reliance. There has been some really important, game-winning performances by guys across the list. So that's been a really big thing for us this year.
So I'll leave it on that note. I'll thank Brett and Simon for joining me. I think we've covered basically everything. I think this has been one of the better interviews I've done. I really like.
Pretty happy with that, eh?
I really like Brett's insight, I guess, and I guess someone else who I haven't mentioned is Bill Dodd, who's also been brilliant. So. I'd just like to thank everyone for watching. Get down to the game on Sunday, 13th of February, 10:30am. Tune into the pre-game show with myself and Matt Fotea. And thanks for watching.
Matt Fotea?
Yep.
Special guest. Flying in.
Wow. Yep. Don't miss it.
Do we have enough bankroll for that? That's we're bringing the pros in. This is cool. Nice work.
So thanks for watching and listening, and good luck on the weekend, Brett.
Thanks, boss.